only straight man to ever be nice. That's cool. This has been so fun. We made it to the part of the show we all came here for. Like, this is dope. Like, give it up for the production team to put all this shit together.
Cheers to a great 2 shows tonight.
Like, I walked in today, this set is fucking beautiful. This has been an amazing show. I'm glad y'all have been having a good time. I've been having a good time. But look, we are here for a very special reason. There's a comedian that has worked so hard to put this together, and I've watched it. I've known her for a few years. We've done a lot of shows together. So look, we're gonna do something special for her. We're gonna get the energy up. So right now, everybody get on that motherfucking beat. Right now, get on that motherfucking beat and start clapping.
Do you like my outfit? I figure if comedy doesn't work out, I'll always have a job on The Price is Right. I am so excited to be here. I have been working for several months to get here, and I can't believe that I'm actually here doing this for you all right now. Thank you for coming. It would have been so embarrassing if nobody came. I am even more happy to be doing this here in Baltimore. I love this city. My family is from this city. The art scene here is incredible. A lot of history. My apartment actually used to be a brothel. I know. I thought that was so cool. But then my roommate moved in, so I had to stop operation. Now, obviously I'm kidding, okay? I never stopped operations. But I did have to move recently. I experienced my first stalker situation. Not to brag. It was wild. I had to change my phone number, my email address, and I knew that I fully had to move when he was like, look, I'll leave you alone if you pay me $1,000 on the 1st of the month. Like you said you would in your lease. Like, why are you so obsessed with me? Like, get a job. I have been told before that I don't look like a lot of comedians, which is a weird thing to say to somebody. But I kind of get it. I'm aware that my vibe is more like if Polly Pocket did nose drugs. That's what I bring to the table. I'm aware of it, but I am a comedian, which means I do a lot of traveling, which is great for somebody with a lot of travel anxiety. You know, shout out to anxiety. Why sleep when you can worry? But I do travel a lot, take a lot of flights, and flights have just gotten worse and worse. They're getting canceled, delayed, and you try to call the airline to complain, and they're like, what I'm hearing is we did get you home eventually. And I fly Southwest, so when I call them, they're just like, I don't know, next time step your pussy up and fly Delta. It hurts because they're right. But I do like the in-flight movies that I get to watch. Last week, I got to watch my favorite horror movie, 50 First Dates. movie is about a woman who is in a serious accident that causes severe brain trauma. She relives the same day over and over again. And that's devastating and horrifying to begin with. She has a support system, and they just let her relive that day. They keep her comfortable. They don't want to re-traumatize her. They're fine. They're doing the best they can. And then along comes some fucking guy. Meets her one singular time and is like, I'm obsessed with this woman. And her friends are like, listen, we don't owe you an explanation of her trauma, but leave her alone. Don't come back here. What does he do? He goes back there. He keeps going back there until eventually they're like, all right, dude, listen, she can't consent to a relationship. And he's like, well, here's the thing, that's fine with me. And this movie does not end with him being murdered, which would be the happy ending, by the way. This movie ends with her isolated on a boat in the middle of the ocean, being introduced to a child every single day that she didn't know she had. Can you imagine waking up 8 months pregnant, no idea how that happened? Horrifying. And you're out on a boat and the only person with you is some guy, and the scariest part of all of this is that that guy is Adam Sandler. That is bone chilling. And don't even get me started on You've Got Mail, okay? That man fully stalks a woman, ruins her family business, and they end up in love at the end. They say romance is dead, maybe it should be. I don't know. Maybe that's just like straight people stuff. I only dabble in heterosexuality. I am bisexual. Thank you. For anybody who doesn't know what that means, every time I hook up with a man, a ginormous clock appears, and I've got 24 hours to hook up with a woman or else I turn straight. And I'm actually here with you guys tonight because I only have 2 hours left. Clock is ticking, everybody. No, what being bisexual actually means is I only hook up with people who have Hulu and Max. When they say bisexuals are greedy, they're referring to streaming services. It's been about 10 years since I came out to my parents, but I still remember it really vividly because they just didn't care. They were like, that's great, while you're here, while we're talking, stop using our credit card for Lyft. Like, at this point, we need you to just drunk drive your gay ass back home. And then my dad was like, do you eat at Chick-fil-A? I was like, sometimes. He goes, how can you support that homophobic company? And I was like, well, Dad, it's easy. For every chicken sandwich I eat, I just make sure to hook up with 4 women. Because if I'm gonna eat out, I'm gonna eat out. People think it's so hot, that lady on lady action, up until they catch you making out with their mom. Now, all of a sudden, instead of that's hot and you're sexy, it's that's awful, and why are you dressed like my dad? Like, it's not what it looks like. Sport. People make a lot of assumptions about dating bisexual women, especially men when they date us. They think they're about to have mad threesomes with other women. And I am here to use my platform to set the record straight on that and let you all know there are some. There are some. Just because every now and then I'd like an orgasm. I know. Listen, it's a cheap joke. It's low-hanging fruit, and it's not even true. It's just flat out not even true. Because when it comes to my actual sex life, men have been at the center of some of my biggest pregnancy scares. We got a lot of history. I don't know. I think if anything in your life is really gonna change dating a bi person, you just can't get away with not reciprocating oral sex. Because we've seen what it entails to go down on everybody. We know you're capable. Like, if I can do it, you can do it, okay? And how does that song go? Anything I can do, you can do, at least on my birthday. Maybe Christmas if I was good that year. It's bad. I'm just, at this point in my life, I'm not even interested in talking to somebody unless they're gonna go down on me the way that like a 1940s soldier kisses his high school sweetheart upon returning from war. Like, it's gotta be super passionate and super intense, and we're gonna make everybody else at that train station super uncomfortable. I didn't used to be this promiscuous, but I recently had to stop taking birth control, so now my birth is just uncontrolled. It's like an unsupervised toddler at a brewery. Running around, knocking people's drinks over, stealing French fries. It's having a great time. Everyone else is mad inconvenienced. And just like what has been going on with my body at this point now, it's like, you know when your car springs a leak? And it doesn't need immediate attention, but if you park it for too long and let it sit, a small puddle forms underneath of it. Thin line follows you everywhere you go. You guys think that's gross. You don't have to drive this Chevy Cavalier, okay? A lot of miles on this baby. Do you ever get so tired after sex that instead of getting up to pee, you just lay there and accept the UTI? Buying your cranberry pills the next day, like, I should call them. And my gynecologist. Yeah, some people say their body's a temple, mine's a fucking frat house. Everything's sticky. That's gross. And accurate. It's gotten so bad that like porn has gotten boring to me because I've watched so much of it. Last night I found myself on page 54 of Pornhub. If you've never been to page 54 of Pornhub, you're lying. But it's not even porn anymore. It is just Spanish dubbed episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants. It is not what you went there for in the first place. It's gotten so bad that I've had to start making my own porn. Which is my very subtle and clever way of telling you all that I do have an OnlyFans. My name on there is Big Honkin' Caboose. Look me up, your dad already has. Or you can just look me up by my name, Megan Graves, because I didn't know we were picking different names for that. Do you remember when people, like in elementary school, middle school, whatever, they'd be like, your porn star name is the name of your first childhood pet, And then the last name is the name of the street you grew up on. Mine's just my government name. I didn't think it would go that well, okay? Life comes at you fast. But I am on OnlyFans, and when people hear that, they hear what I do for work, they're like, well, how do your parents feel about what you do? And I'm like, okay, if we're gonna be honest about it, they were a little disappointed. It was a hard conversation to have, you know. No parent wants their child to go into a life of stand-up comedy. Really made the whole porn thing go over a lot better. There's a lot of assumptions out there about sex workers. People are like, oh, you must not have a good relationship with your dad. And I'm like, okay, actually, it's worse than that. We've got an excellent relationship, and I find myself becoming more and more like him every day. Last week I wanted to go to a restaurant. I tried to make a reservation, and I had to download an app, not just for reservations in general, but for that specific restaurant. And I caught myself saying out loud, I don't think they should need all that information for me to go there. That was my father's voice speaking through me, okay? I don't know, if anything, we just kind of have like a don't ask, don't tell policy about it, where he hopes his friends don't ask him what I do for a living. And I hope his friends don't tell him that they already know. They are well aware. There's a lot of double standards out there about sex work. You know, if you have sex and it produces a baby, well, that's a miracle. That's God's gift. That's beautiful. But if you're sexual and you produce an OnlyFans, now you can't work at Best Buy. And I'm not saying I wanted to, but I would like the option. And personally, I think somebody who has their titties on the internet would be really good at selling TVs. It's just good marketing. I firmly believe that sex work is work. Thank you. I know because I have to do it. And if anybody out there doesn't believe that sex work is work, I challenge you, and you can do this at home, to take one single picture of your own asshole. If sex work isn't work, why do I have carpal tunnel? Checkmate, swerfs. For anybody who's not like very online, a swerf is a sex worker exclusionary radical feminist, or as I like to call them, huge bitches. I just think that if your feminism tells women what they can and can't do with their body, you're not on the side you think you are. That's just my 2 cents on the subject. But there's a lot of downsides that come with OnlyFans, I would say. People are like, oh, I would never date someone that I could see naked for the price of a Happy Meal. Okay, you know what? Maybe you should use your money to buy a Happy Meal because, frankly, you're being a fucking bummer. Make sure you get your little toy because you want to be a child right now. Because I have an OnlyFans, people will assume if I'm doing well in comedy or any other aspect of my life that I must have slept my way into that opportunity or I'm sleeping my way to the top. And it's really frustrating, it's so offensive. Because I've worked really hard my entire life trying to sleep my way to the top. It is not as easy as it looks. You can sleep your way to the middle, no problem. But the top? That's a goddamn professional. They've earned whatever role they've gotten, and they deserve to put that on their resume. But we're not up with that yet, so we have to settle for things like works well with others. Good for office morale. A pleasure to have in class. You guys I've had a lot of jobs. I've been in food service, I've been in retail, I worked an office job, but now I do sex work. And I gotta tell you, the job that I've experienced the most harassment in was the office job. Those places are evil. And you can't even do anything about it. You just have to smile and laugh at their jokes so you don't get fired. Now, when people do it to me on OnlyFans, I can tell them to go fuck themselves. And that's a magical experience in customer service. But I think the most annoying thing is people telling you they would never date you, especially when it's coming from like the human version of Shrek. I would never date someone with an OnlyFans. Okay, I would never date a swamp monster. We weren't gonna work out in the first place. And it's okay if you have boundaries. Like, it takes a lot of emotional labor to be with a sex worker. You have to be very secure, you have to deal with jealousy, have a lot of conversations. It's not for everybody, and that's fine. You just don't have to be so loud about it. And you don't need to say it to me when I wasn't even asking you out. They like to do it so they can reject you before you get the chance to reject them. And I'm like, that's great, whatever makes you happy. I still don't know who you are. And I think if there's any demographic of person you just flat out should not date, it's not sex workers, it's comedians. Do not sleep with comedians. I've done the field research, collected an embarrassing sample size, and my experience sleeping with comedians has just been like waking up with someone's vape stuck to my back, trying to leave before they play another episode of a Joe Rogan podcast. Did you guys know that if you say Joe Rogan's name in a mirror 3 times, a bottle of Mountain Dew Code Red appears? Tells you should try DMT. Maybe I'm biased, maybe I just have slept with all the wrong comedians. I had one come to my apartment, we hook up, he starts leaving, but not without first turning back around, looking me in my big, beautiful eyeballs, and saying, "Thanks, dude." At that point, he might as well crushed a White Claw against his forehead and chest bumped me. That would have been less offensive. Another guy said to me, "Nice meeting you, I'll add you on Facebook." Guess who didn't fucking add me on Facebook? It's rough. Like, dating comedians isn't bad because they'll, like, forget your birthday. Like, they will. It's bad because they'll, like, forget the true meaning of love. There's 2 types of people who go into stand-up comedy. There's people who just want to be a little silly, make people laugh, have a goof. And then there's people who just want to say the most horrific stuff possible into a microphone. And which type I am fully depends on the day I'm having. It's rough, but if you're not gonna heed my advice and you're gonna sleep with a comedian, just do yourself this one favor, Google their name and the word allegations. Just see what comes up. Because if something comes up, not gonna be allegations that he was a really cool guy. If an article starts with several women come forward to say, not gonna end with, he makes a mean lasagna. It's rough. Don't sleep with comedians. Don't do it. Except for me. And everyone else you saw on this show tonight. I have grown, though. I am no longer dating comedians. I am dating somebody else. When I told my friends that, they were like, oh my God, thank God, Megan. Like, what does he do? And I was like, I'm so glad you asked. He's a DJ. She said, that is a lateral move, Megan. Be that as it may. I love them, and their birthday's coming up, so I want to get them something really special. But I think I'm just going to get them like the most generic present ever, because I'm running out of time. You know, anal. I am worried that it's a little bit tacky. You know, getting my boyfriend and my boss the same present. I'm gonna wash my strap-on off in between. Some of you not that into butt stuff. But that's okay, we'll ease into it. The rest of you, however, took that joke like a champ. Why is it, you guys, you break a couple of glass ceilings, you're a feminist icon. You break just one of your ex's windows. Now you're a little unstable. Not allowed within 100 feet of him or his wife. Double standard. But I know I talk a lot about sex on stage, and people have been like, Megan, you should talk about something else. I'm like, okay, what should I talk about? They're like, I don't know, talk about what you do for work. Well, unfortunately, what I do for work is objectify and sometimes degrade myself so that men will find me attractive and give me money. And my other job is OnlyFans.